Okay, so Jim here highlighting my Handbuilt 6550 tube amp. This would be like a studio amp. It's not really built to be moved around since it's built into this chassis. Anyway, it's got old iron from the 40s or 50s. A guy built this about 12 years ago who lived in North Hollywood. A really amazing craftsman. Builder. Anyway, it's got this pair of RCA 6550 output tubes. It's got three 12AX7s. Right now I have super cheap Chinese tubes in there, but I have put everything in here from, way old vintage like Mullards and 12AX7s to 12AT7s, 12BZ7s, 12AU7s, anything you can imagine that works in the preamp. It's got three of them. It is a push-pull design, but a unique one because it has two rectifier tubes, a 5Y3 and then a 5U4, and one of them is connected to the output stage, but another one is connected somewhere in there between the phase inverter or the I don't know, but you can push it with the preamp gain and make this thing sag like crazy, just like vintage Neil Young into one of his old cranked up Fender Deluxes. Somebody told me once this circuit appears to be very similar to the old Fender Tweed Twin circuit, which they only made for a couple years because it was a very expensive circuit, and I imagine that's why not a lot of people replicate it. Very complex and expensive circuit to build. It's got a presence control. This is a mid control. It's got a concentric bass and volume, preamp gain, and volume. I've never been able to get all the right knobs to match up, so I just keep it like that. It's also got this control, which I think has something to do with, like that old buzz control they used to put on things. And it's got a pair of jacks to go to the speakers. One runs, I think, 8 and one is 16, or else one is, I think that's what it is. One's 8 and one's 16. I don't even know which one I have it plugged into right now. This thing is not all that well labeled, as you can see. But check out the underside here. You'll see this is hand circuit. Real point-to-point, literally no breadboard, nothing, point to point. Every capacitor, every resistor is soldered at a single point to its mate, and you don't see circuits like this that much, that's for sure. Quite amazing. All done by hand. So there you go, and it's well grounded. I've had this amp for years and years. It's good ridden around. I usually carry it around in a milk crate. And I've done lots of recording with it, and it just really brings out with the tone of whatever it is you're playing through it, which is what's great. Today I'm going to choose my Les Paul Special, just so you can hear what humbucker sound like. I love the way P90 sounds with this amp. It also sounds great, of course, with just basic Fender single coils. I'm playing through a single 12-inch Eminence. Any distortion you hear on the clean tones is just the crappy little microphone in the iPhone. That's what I'm recording this on. So this is just your basic straight. Everything on here really changes the tones, the treble control, the bass control, the mid control. They're all quite, actively wired to it. But what really changes the sound of this amp, which is really the main thing I use it for, is by pushing the preamp gain and keeping down the volume, because this is an insanely loud amplifier. This could probably push, I would guess, 2 or 12 cabinets if you wanted it to, since it's got the 6550s. But when you kick up that preamp gain, push that rectifier, you get that awesome. sounds, but it is not any kind of grating or preamp distortion. It is just beautiful, thick, output rectified sag. So if you're into, all of our buddies, whether it be, Black Keys or Jack White or any of those guys that used to crank the heck out of these old amps to get that sound, this will give it to you. 6550s, of course, very loud.